The entire state of California, 40 million people now urged to stay at home under Governor Newsom's order.
And this is a moment we need to make tough decisions. This is a moment where we need some straight talk. We need to bend the curve in the state of California.
The state is making progress in controlling the spread of COVID-19, and Governor Gavin Newsom says they plan to ramp up testing in California.
We want California manufacturers, creating California-based jobs, developing PPE for Californians, and we hope for the nation.
Big news from Sacramento that Governor Newsom and the California legislature have agreed to a $9.6 billion state COVID relief package. And California small businesses have tax relief and grants coming their way.
Governor Newsom has signed a stimulus bill into law that will give 5.7 million Californians $600 payments.
California is the first state offering assistance directly to undocumented immigrants. Governor Gavin Newsom estimated 10% of the state's workforce is undocumented.
Our diverse communities in the state of California include our immigrant communities. And regardless of your status, documented or undocumented, there are people in need.
It's a new sign of hope for a lot of people in this battle against coronavirus. The first shipment of that vaccine arrived in LA overnight.
Hope is on the horizon with a vaccination. We continue to accelerate our planning and preparedness for a safe and equitable vaccine distribution.
Y el gobernador de California y dijo que serán 11 sitios móviles los que se abrirán a partir de esta semana y también 34,000 vacunas que serán distribuidas entre campesinos.
We got to keep fighting. Gavin, we got your back. You know that it's about every single child who's waiting to go back to school. It's about every one of our elders who's right now fighting for their dear lives in the ICU. It is about every single nurse right now who's giving someone that they've never met an injection that can save their lives. And we trust you to lead California into its next phase.
California plans to lift nearly all its COVID restrictions on June 15th.
Governor Gavin Newsom tweeting good COVID-19 news. California has the lowest positivity rate in the country.
A statewide plan was announced to get students back into the classroom, and today Governor Gavin Newsom signed that plan into law.
That bill that the governor signed will provide over $6 billion to school districts.
This economy is reopening, schools are back in business, and I think California is uniquely positioned to come roaring back. As we come together virtually across California, I just want to welcome each and every one of you to the California Democratic Party State Convention, and take a moment to reflect on how far we all have come over the course of this last year. You know, it was just a year ago, a once-in-a-century pandemic arrived on our shores as Donald Trump did everything in his power to ignore the real realities of COVID-19. California, we took a completely different path, one paved by data, health, and science. You know, Californians, hard work, your hard work and your sacrifice, it's saved countless lives. And now all of that effort's finally paying off. You know, to date, we've distributed north of 24 million vaccines, more than all but 5 nations in the world. And you're vaccinating communities that other states have left behind, communities of color, low-income families, and those most at risk. We put an equity metric up, 40% of all our first doses committed to equity as a North Star. And we're well on our way as a consequence of those efforts of finally defeating this virus. California, we're not crawling back. We're going to come roaring back. And when this pandemic ends, we're not going to go back to normal, because I think you would agree with me, normal was never good enough. We're going to continue to battle the inequities and injustices that this pandemic has exposed and highlighted only further. And we're going to leverage this once-in-a-lifetime moment to ensure every Californian, regardless of race, regardless of their zip code, can live a healthy, safe, and prosperous life. You know, during this crisis, California has invested more than ever before in assistance programs to help lift families from poverty to prosperity, expand access to healthcare like never before. We created the largest small business grant program in the country, $2.5 billion, of which 77% of those grants have gone to underserved communities. We built the first in the nation fund to provide aid to our undocumented community. We housed more unhoused residents also than any other time in our state's history through Project Roomkey and Homekey. And now, with the help of the Biden-Harris administration, California is poised to put our fight against inequality into overdrive. But national Republicans and extreme right-wingers, they're not sitting back. They're throwing everything they can at their recall power grab, all in hopes of rolling back all of the important progress we have made together, and we can't let them win. Now, if we place our faith over fear, perseverance, and optimism over hate and division, the power is in our hands. This is our moment to create the California we all want to live in, to extend the dream of prosperity, equity, and progress to each and every one of us. I'm honored to be in this fight with each and every one of you.